Morning, everybody. Figured I'd pop on a little bit early just to see if I could share this out a little bit. Hi, Pamela. Yay, I'm glad you're here. Pamela is actually the reason that I'm doing this video. I don't know if you know that. Because you're the one that had asked about man-made crystals when I think for my first video. So I thought that was such a good idea to discuss because I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. So I'm excited. So yay, Pamela. I'm glad you're here. So let me just share this out, you guys, a little bit, and then I will get started. Give everyone a minute to hop on. All right. All right. So for those of you that are joining me for the first time, this is part of a series that I've been doing on crystals, and it's a multiple video series. This is part 4. So if you haven't seen the other ones, they're on my page, so I definitely encourage you to watch them if you want to learn more. I've been doing basically segments on different topics and subjects, breaking down things on crystals, because it's been something that is often requested by me. So I was really excited to do this for really anybody that was interested. That's just some free information to share out for people. And today I'm going to be focusing on man-made crystals, but I'm also here to answer any of your questions regarding crystals whatsoever. So if there's anything at all like that maybe isn't man-made related, feel free to share or ask anyway, and I'll try my best to answer those questions for you while I'm on, okay? And just say hi to make sure everything's working out so I know that this is working. I'm always nervous it's not working, but I think we're doing okay. And then, yeah, and Pamela too. If you have any questions, also, let me know. And before I get started with the crystal thing, I wanted to just share a couple things. For those of you that have been following me, you may have noticed that my business name changed. And this is because, for some of you, you may not know this, I had 2 separate businesses. One was my mediumship, and the other one was crystal healing jewelry that I make myself and sell. So over time, things have just shifted for me and my business, and I decided to really bring them together into one unique business. And I'm very excited about that. And that has been, it's just so aligned and so perfect for what I want to do and offer for people. So it's really just everything in one business now. And that's under Inner Key Alchemy. So I am so excited about that. And another really exciting thing that I haven't shared yet is that I'm actually going to be selling crystals now. Yay! I'm very excited about that because so many people ask me if I sell crystals. And I already do a lot of work with crystals, obviously, and doing custom things for people with crystals. So now I'm going to have the ability to shop for you or find certain crystals that you need or that you're looking for. That's something that I'm really, really passionate about doing and helping people figure out what stones they need or how to help find certain things that maybe they haven't had a lot of luck finding out there. So I'm going to be able to offer that service now. So I'm very excited about that. And it's also just going to be some just crystals, my jewelry, any kind of healing tools that I'm going to be offering, which I have a lot of ideas. But just keep track and just, keep looking at my page because I'm going to be offering a lot of stuff. Hopefully some workshops as well coming up and a lot more. So I'm so excited and I'm really glad that you guys are joining me tonight, this morning. So you guys can just say, Pamela, can you comment again so I know that this is working? Let me check on my phone because I just want to make sure the comments are working because sometimes they don't. Let's see. All right, I think they're working. Oh, I don't know. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, that's working. Thanks, Pamela. All right. Well, I think I'm just going to dive in since we're here and we're ready to go. So, very excited about this topic. So, when it comes to man made crystals, I think there's a lot out there. And I think there's also a lot of information that people don't really know about it. So, before I kind of went into specific crystals to go over, I wanted to just kind of talk about it as a whole topic. And basically, when it comes to man made or man altered crystals, there's a few things that can take place. I mean, quite a few things. So, one of the main things that people are often going to see, I think one of the things that you see at a lot of crystal shops is going to be dyed crystals. So, that's often kind of tumbled agate. Now, I don't actually have any of those to show you as an example, but most crystal shops are always going to have kind of those tumbled agate stones that seem to be very bright colors and almost kind of unnatural looking. Now, and that's the thing. I mean, sometimes natural stones do have that vibrancy to them, and it's amazing. But I think one of the most common colors I see in that kind of crystal is like a bright neon, almost fuchsia color. So again, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but it's more a matter of a few things. So in the crystal community, there's definitely people that are like very strong believers in the fact that sometimes dyeing crystals or altering them in some way like that can kind of not help with the energy and sometimes dampens it down and maybe hinders with it a bit. And when it comes to that opinion, I kind of feel like you need to decide that for yourself. If you're attracted to a stone that happens to be dyed or altered in some way, there's a reason for it, and it doesn't mean that it's bad or wrong in any way. It's still a crystal. It's not that it's not a crystal anymore. It's just enhanced in some way. Sometimes I think, yeah, they can maybe alter the energy of it a little bit, maybe not as powerful. But again, like I was saying, it kind of depends on the stone. One other common one that you'll see is fake turquoise. So fake turquoise is often going to be howlite or magnesite. And those stones are actually great for anxiety and soothing you, but they're going to always look kind of like that weird artificial turquoise color. Oh, you keep losing me, Pamela? Oh no. Let me make sure that this is working good. Hmm. So it seems to be working. So I'll just keep going, Pamela, and we'll see. I mean, if anything, maybe you can watch the replay. But hopefully this will even out. So like I was saying with fake turquoise, is that those stones are actually great, howlite and magnesite. Those are going to be the most common ones that are artificially dyed as fake turquoise. Now, one of the main ways that you're going to know that that's what it is that it's going to be very cheap. Because real natural turquoise is not cheap at all. It's usually quite expensive. So first of all, I mean, that's one of the ways to know when you're shopping for crystals, right? If certain things that you have known to be maybe more expensive, that's one of the more obvious ways to tell that it's maybe fake or artificially dyed. And not fake as a mineral, it's probably just a different mineral being masked as something else. So when it comes to buying artificial turquoise, there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that when you're buying that, you're buying howlite or magnesite. It's just colored. So if you like the properties of those stones and that's something that you'd like to work with, then that's fine. Then buy it. But if you are specifically looking for turquoise for its metaphysical properties, then you're going to want to look for real, genuine turquoise. So that's one way to see. That's one of the ways that are very common with stones. And you'll often see a lot of like dyed quartz. Quartz is dyed all the time. And a lot of times you'll see that with like beads or just tumble stones. But again, that's not always a bad thing, like I was saying. It's still quartz. And more so, that's just kind of up to your own feeling with it. So another way that stones can be altered is when they are baked. Now, you'll often see fake citrine, and that's actually baked amethyst. And that's one of the stones that I'm going to be going into later. So that's also one way that things can be altered. And then another thing is they can be made out of glass. They can be lab grown. And also another one that I like is that sometimes minerals and crystals can be made by mistake. And I'll explain that in a little bit when I go into one of the stones I'm going to talk about. So there's a lot of different ways. And I mean, another way too is when they're carved a certain way. That's something that I've talked about already in some of my other videos, is how sometimes crystals, they'll be carved into a point when they weren't originally a point. So that's fine if you're into that and you feel drawn to using a tool like that. But for example, one thing that I had shared in another video was that double terminated quartz, when it's naturally double terminated, is a really powerful healing tool that I really, really love. However, a lot of the times there are quartz points that have been man carved into a double terminated point, and they're not going to have the same properties as naturally double terminated quartz. So it's just, as long as you're aware of that when you're purchasing these stones, that's fine. It's just to be aware of that, because it's going to have a different energy flow when it's man carved like that. Same with like generator points and things like that. As long as they've been carved into the formation where they were naturally already pointing, then you should be okay. But sometimes they're not. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're looking for specific formations of quartz points or different points like that. And if you're really looking for something specific for that energy that it produces, you just want to be mindful of what you're picking out and kind of asking the people that are selling these things and really say, like, is this a natural point or is this something that's been enhanced or carved? It's just good to know. And let me just check in on the comments again on my phone, guys. Just want to see here. I think we're okay. Okay. All right, I'll keep going. So, and definitely share with me in the comments if you've had any experience like this, or if there's any stones that you have that you know are man-made and you love, or any questions that you have on that in general. I would love for you to share with me. So I think that's basically everything I wanted to cover with kind of the overall idea. So I'm going to dive into a few examples because that will just be easier and will give you more in-depth information on this stuff. So to start out, I'm just going to start with this beauty here. So this is Siberian blue quartz, and it is originally made in labs in Russia. Now again, most people don't maybe consider this a real crystal or whatever. But I mean, it's quartz. It's real quartz that's been grown in a lab. And actually it has this beautiful color because they've introduced cobalt into it. Now, I love this crystal, and it was actually one of the first stones that I got for enhancing mediumship. So it's a premier stone for the blue ray of energy, and it's really great for the throat chakra and the third eye. And it's going to really help you open up any kind of psychic abilities. It's also known to help people feel more grounded when they're opening up to higher frequency. And it helps you stay more of a feeling of being at home on Earth. So if you're one of those people that often feels out of place, or you just don't feel quite right in normal society, which I feel you, this stone can kind of help you feel a little more adjusted to that and more at home in that space. So, and I think it's beautiful too. I mean, I think it's just really pretty in general. So just because it's lab grown, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it or that it's any less powerful. And like I would say, it's just that this really has a lot to do with your own feeling towards it. And really, if you're looking at different stones, okay, Pamela, I'm going to keep going. It's a great crystal. And I mean, I feel a lot of great energy from it. Like I said, there's definitely a divide in the crystal community about this stuff, but I think that this has always been a great tool. So there's other colors that I know of that these crystals are made. I think there's a purple one and a red one. And there's probably other ones too, to be honest. And those are all these lab-grown quartz that have different pigments added into them. So it's definitely something to explore, because one of the things that is interesting about these is that since they're lab-grown, they almost have this, they have like this flawless structure in them. So in a way, it kind of makes them perfect amplifiers of energy. They don't have any flaws or anything. And in natural quartz, they're often going to have certain flaws. And that's okay. That's what makes them unique and really beautiful. But sometimes having that purity like this can give you a really clean energy and vibration. Hi, Robin. So it's really up to what you're looking for or what you're wanting out of a stone that you're going to purchase. So that's that. And then another one that I wanted to share, which I love. So this is Gaia stone, named after the goddess Gaia. And it's beautiful. I love this crystal. And what's super cool about this, so it's pretty rare and not a lot of people know about it, but it's actually made from the ash of the eruption in 1980 of Mount St. Helen, which is super cool. And there's basically a legend that goes along with that, that after the eruption of Mount St. Helen in 1980, there were workers that went up the mountainside to demolish, I believe, structures that had been damaged in the eruption. And they were using, I believe, like heated torches to cut through these structures. And as they were doing that, supposedly the volcanic ash was turning into this green glass-like material. And so over time, different craftsmen kind of tried to refine this process of creating this green glass stone out of the ash. And from that point on, they kind of perfected it. And it's now this beautiful crystal that technically it's glass. I mean, that's the thing. Technically it's glass, which is kind of like obsidian. And it can be faceted and cut into gemstones, but it's beautiful. I love it. And it holds a really special energy, especially it's just cool that it has that unique formation out of that ash. And it's known for opening the heart space, grounding us, opening us up to Gaia and that beautiful earth energy, that divine feminine energy and that goddess energy. It's wonderful for that. It's wonderful for connecting to nature. If you're somebody that maybe has a hard time getting grounded or remembering to just appreciate the beauty around you in nature, this is a wonderful crystal to carry with you. It's really, really good for people that need emotional healing, past wounds healing, any kind of healing really overall. It's a really powerful stone for that. And it's also very soothing. I carry it around when I'm feeling a little more anxious or maybe a little more vulnerable emotionally. It can really help kind of soothe any kind of energy like that and really help us just relax and really open up our heart space. So it's a really, really unique and cool crystal. And I think this is a really good example of how not all man-made crystals are, bad or ugly even or whatever. They can be a really amazing thing like this right here. So I definitely recommend that. It's a little hard to find, but I can actually add some links in the comments if anyone's interested as well. So then another one that I'm super into, it is called zincite. Now I have a few examples for you here. So this is more of a kind of free-formed shape. It's in resin, as you can see. So it's a little hard to see, but it's kind of this pale green blue color. But it actually ranges all the way through brown, orange, red, green, blue. It's all different types of colors. And then you're either going to find it in this kind of more amorphous shape, or you're going to find it in these points. So I have these little tiny points here. And they actually have almost like an aura about them, like an iridescence to them, which I don't know if you can really see that on the camera, but just show you here. So they're really tiny most of the time, and I'll explain also why. Hi, Patty. Yeah, Patty's getting zincite. I'm getting some zincite for her. It's one of my favorite crystals ever, and I'll explain why. So this one is what I was talking about earlier, where it was kind of accidentally created, and it originally happened in a zinc smelting mine, or smelting plant, smelting plant in Poland. And it was like condemned. I think it was old and broken down, and I think it was being rebuilt. And so it wasn't until then that people discovered all of these crystals in the air vents from this place. So literally just all the fumes and everything from the process that they were working with zinc, it formed these gorgeous crystals in the air vents. And I think that is so cool. And they range anywhere from really tiny like these to really big. And there was a lot of them. So those are going to be the most rare and probably the more expensive forms of zincite to find. These ones are from Poland, from that place. So I love them. I'm obsessed with them. And they're tiny, but they're really pretty. And they have very strong energy. You don't need a lot at all. Um, One of the things about them too is that if you want a little more of a softer energy from them, that's where kind of this more freeform shape can be good. It's a little more rounded. It's going to kind of soften that intensity a bit. But if you really want to really feel that energy strongly, these points really pack a punch, and they're really, really good for that. They're very good for concentrating energy and for concentrating kind of vibration that you want to utilize with them. Now, what's so good about zincite is that it's kind of like moldavite, not quite, but in the sense that it activates every part of your body. It activates all of your chakras, even the ones below and above you, your Earth Star and your Soul Star chakras. It aligns all of them. It helps them go back into balance and work in unity with each other. It reactivates and reinvigorates your whole body and your whole system. And it's really, really good for kind of rebalancing energies coming from up here and then earth energies. So it's really good for grounding higher frequency vibration. And this is really good for people that in general maybe tend to be spaced out a lot, or if you're opening up to abilities or psychic work of any kind and you're maybe not used to it yet and you feel a little unstable from that, this can really help with that. And it will also just help you kind of adapt to it quicker than you would otherwise. So you're able to really use this to just help kind of hone in on that energy and feel more in control of it and more stabilized from it. I love this crystal. I usually wear it on me all the time because it just helps me feel like my body's just working at optimal, like it's just working perfectly. It makes me feel more balanced. It makes me feel like there's more of a flow of energy through my body. And it really helps with clarity of thought as well. So whenever I'm doing like a lot of readings or something and I feel really out of it, this is a stone that's going to help me kind of get through that more, and I'll be able to stay more grounded and connected while I'm doing that work. And it's also just wonderful for anybody that's struggling with any kind of physical ailments or really anything, anxiety, depression, anything like that where they feel off balance, right? Hey, Brian. It's going to help balance out all of that for you. And for some people, this stone is actually way too intense for them at first. So that's why for some people, kind of like moldavite, you may want to introduce it in doses, right? So a little bit at a time, like meditating with it for a little bit, and then that's it. Some people can't handle kind of carrying it on them all day long. So you're just going to kind of have to experiment with that and just see how it makes you feel. But I love zincite. And I think it's a really cool example of kind of a happy accident. Now, the one thing to know, though, is that it actually does occur naturally as well. Believe it or not, the main place is actually in New Jersey. So it is available in other places. It does grow naturally in other places. But the zincite in Poland, I believe, has a higher vibration, and especially in the points, which is where you're often going to find them, I believe. Because I think the other zincite that grows naturally is usually with other minerals like calcite. I can get you Gaia crystals for you. Yes, I will get some. I like that idea. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. I think that's a great idea because it's something that people don't really offer. So yeah, I would love that. So thanks for the idea. And I'm probably going to offer zincite as well because I love it. So next one, and this one is probably one of the more common ones that you're going to see a lot, and most of you probably are familiar with, is any kind of aura quartz, right? So I have a few examples. So this is Tanzine aura quartz right here. And then I have this aqua aura quartz here. And this is actually danburite with an angel aura to it. Now, with these, I love these. I mean, they're just really pretty to look at, first of all. But they're made with a special kind of chemical fuming process where powdered or fumed metal particles are plated onto the crystal directly. And what's cool about it is that you'll notice that there's a lot of variety with these. There's like sunset aura, angel aura, aqua aura, titanium aura core. I mean, there's all kinds of colors. And really, that tends to vary depending on the types of metals that are in them and the different minerals that are introduced into that process. The one with the angel energy, Robin? Oh, is that one? No, so this is actually danburite. But I love that, and I love that this is angel aura danburite, because danburite is a awesome angelic realm crystal to begin with. So this just kind of takes it to the next level, which I really like. So one thing to know is when these crystals are plated like this, it's really just introducing different minerals and metals into their structure. So it's altering their energy a little bit. Now, metal, though, is actually wonderful. It's a wonderful conductor of energy. It's a wonderful amplifier of energy. As you'll know, like many things that are, covered in copper, silver, gold, really any metal has its own kind of property similar to crystals. So when you're fusing those together, it brings this really beautiful energy together that you can utilize and is really, really great. And what I like about the aura stones too is that they have that variety that you can kind of play around with. So like I said, like the angelic stones, there's angel aura quartz too. But that's what I also like. It's not just on quartz too. Like I was saying, this is danburite. It can be on a lot of different crystals. I know there's like rose quartz, citrine. I mean, I think it's basically on really anything, most things. It probably has something to do with maybe the hardness of a crystal, of like how much it can handle that process. But probably any crystal that has a higher hardness to it can be plated like this. So I love those as well. And then another very common one that most of you will probably recognize is citrine. So citrine I love, and also it's probably one of the most commonly like man-made or man-altered stones. So I'll show you an example here. So this is natural citrine, and you'll see it's really clear, but it's also very pale in color. Now, citrine naturally can range from very pale like this to almost like a dark amber color. So it does have a range, but one of the things that's consistent across the board with it is that it has that clarity. And typically also the more clear it is, the more expensive it's going to be. You'll also find that natural citrine is always going to be pretty expensive. But it's for a reason. It's because it's actually quite uncommon and more rare than you would maybe know. A lot of natural citrine is not easily found nowadays. So in most crystal shops and things, you'll often find if it's natural citrine, it's going to be more expensive, but it's definitely worth it. I love citrine. And then the quote unquote, fake citrine, you'll often see them in these types of points. Now, they also get sold in clusters or tumblestones. I think often those clusters that kind of look like amethyst, but they're citrine and they're almost like that really dark color like that, those are all heat-treated amethyst. So that's what this is right here. And you'll notice, again, like I was saying, right here, that's very opaque. There's not a lot of clarity except for maybe right at the top there, but not even. There's a lot of fractures inside of it and so forth. It's not super clear like this guy here. So you'll see there's a big difference there. Now, the thing is, though, is that I don't think this is a bad stone, the heat-treated amethyst. These are both really, really great crystals to work with, and they have very different energy, actually. So I wanted to share on both of them because I actually think that anybody that like collects crystals or uses them could really use both. So the clear citrine, natural citrine, has a lot softer of an energy, actually. And it tends to kind of come into you in a more soft, rounded way, a slower way. It's more towards manifestation and your will. It's going to help with confidence. It helps a lot with perseverance through very difficult periods in your life and kind of helping you be lifted up more and have more confidence in yourself and your ability to handle life or handle difficult situations. It's going to help you with authority and feeling more like you can really speak your mind. Hi, Julie. And again, it's just less harsh of an energy. It's just going to kind of help soothe you into self-love and confidence. And like I was saying, is like one of the main stones known for manifestation and creativity. So it's a wonderful stone. I love citrine. Now, heat treated citrine, what I really like about it is that it has a very, very strong vibration compared to natural citrine. So if you want more of a kick and kind of like you need some motivation to really get something done or dive into a project that you've been avoiding or something that you're a little afraid of, this I actually would recommend more because it's going to kind of activate you more than maybe the natural citrine. Like the natural citrine will do that, but it's going to be a slower process. It's going to take longer. It's more subtle in the way that it works with you. But this type is going to actually really kick you into gear quite quickly. And it's more known for kind of activating your creativity in a mental space. And this is especially because it originally was amethyst. Now, amethyst is known as a stimulator of the crown chakra and kind of taking in that spiritual energy or inspiration. So it's really good for kind of connecting the mental energy up here with the seat of your will and the solar plexus area. So it's really helpful for kind of supercharging that manifestation and kind of creativity because it's bringing in that inspiration mentally. It's activating that energy to a higher frequency. So you're taking in more inspiration, more creativity. You feel more plugged in spiritually. And then it's activating the will and kind of your motivation center to do more with what you're actually receiving and to actually be active with it. So I really wanted to share on both of these because I use both. I definitely use both. And then another one was, I don't have an example of this, but opalite is one that you've probably seen at different shops. Now that's more of a like milky colored stone that has like an opalescent, it's opalescent glass is really what it is. But again, that's also a stone that's definitely respected in the mineral community as something for channeling angelic energy. It's very healing, soothing crystal. It's something that I've worked with before. I just don't have it because I think it's in resin or something. But that's another really nice stone. It's also really pretty. So I think that's the other thing to know is like, yeah, Robin's saying that opalite is pretty. Some of the man in hand stuff can be pretty. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with enjoying that, right? Another example I had here was obsidian. So most obsidian is natural and it's volcanic glass, right? I actually have one like right here. So this is natural. This is peacock obsidian. So you can't really see because this is like super crazy. It has all these colors in it. But besides the point is that I sold on mine now and I have to purchase them for me. Yeah, right, me too. So this is like natural obsidian. You're going to see this with gold sheen obsidian, silver sheen obsidian, mahogany obsidian, snowflake obsidian. There's a lot, and a lot of it is natural. So it's good to know, but you'll often also see stuff like this. So these I bought. This is strawberry obsidian. Now, this is definitely man-made. You can see that there. And that's a man-made glass, basically, with dye in it. And when it comes to these, so, well, and also there's another one. So this is lemon obsidian, I believe. And you'll see it has kind of this almost like opalite sheen to it. It's really pretty. And then this is aqua obsidian. Yes, Robin, I do have a shop. So it's all on one website now. So that is the website link right on my page if you click book now. And the shop is there. So I don't have crystals in the shop yet. You want to eat that? Yeah, me too, right? I kind of want to eat it too. The crystals are coming really soon, and I'm going to obviously announce that as soon as I have them because I'm very picky and I really want to offer some really rare and cool stuff for you guys. So I do have jewelry and aragonite pyramids and certain healing tools in my shop now that is available, so you can definitely check that out. But yeah, the crystals are coming. They'll be very soon. So what I would say about these is, I know like strawberry obsidian, I think I like this one the best out of all of them, but this one is known for the root chakra, helping with depression, kind of giving you more vitality, zest for life, joy, enjoying life, being present in the moment. It's very grounding and healing for the lower chakras. And again, when it comes to these in particular, I mean, they're really pretty. And I think just like the ones I was saying before, kind of the dyed ones, like dyed agate or so forth, they have a vibration. I feel that they have a vibration. And some people, it may not resonate with them. So I would just say it's kind of a matter of feeling it for yourself. And if you feel a vibration from it that you feel drawn to, then definitely get it and work with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because, I mean, especially, I mean, they have a lot of respect. Even though they're man-made, they have a lot of respect. And they are definitely used quite often in the mineral community. So it's not for nothing. You know, I mean, people have felt vibration from these. So that's why they are utilized by people. And then another one I had was actually, it's called crackle quartz. So literally that's just quartz that's been superheated to the point of it cracking. And then it has a dye in it. And that comes in a lot of different colors as well. But it's also really pretty. And I believe this orange one is also a little similar to the strawberry obsidian in its vibration, in the sense that it just helps with joy, motivation, creativity, a lot of stuff that's going to be connected with the sacral chakra. So this is a fun stone for anybody with that. And I mean, this is quartz, it's not glass. So you can definitely feel a vibration from it. So again, like I was saying, I know for me, the ones that I showed you, those are probably the only enhanced maybe or dyed crystals that I own. But that's also because for me, I'm a big collector. So certain crystals that I'm getting, like I want the real thing and I want it to be natural. So again, it really depends on just personal preference and what you're looking to do with them. So for me, like certain things that I get, like I'm very specific about what I want because I'm a collector. But if you don't care about that and you just feel like something's really pretty or you feel drawn to it, that's fine. And I mean, that's why I bought these. So it just depends. So what's that strawberry quartz? So this is actually strawberry obsidian, Robin. So it's kind of hard to see, but because this kind of looks natural in this camera, but it has almost like these wisps of, let me see if I like put a flashlight against it. Maybe, let's see. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, well, wait, there a little bit. You can kind of see how it's these wisps of color. I don't want to blind anyone. So it is artificially made. Now, strawberry quartz, I also love. And that's actually a blend of different minerals. There's a lot of lepidocrocite in that. I love strawberry quartz. I actually have some. I don't have it right here, right now, but that's something that I can definitely talk about in another video as well. And then the last one that I had was bismuth. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen bismuth before. It's beautiful. And unfortunately, my example isn't very good. This was a bismuth crystal that I had in resin, and I'm in the process of taking it out right now, because sometimes I change my mind or I want to do something else with it. So you can't really see much anything. So I'm sorry about that. Let me see if I put like a light on it. You can see more. Not really. You can't really see that. So it's this beautiful rainbow, amazing structure. Actually, let me just see if I can pull up a picture for you guys. Okay, Robin, I will answer that in just a second. So this is bismuth right here. Now, not the best example, but those are really, really cool crystals. I think they're beautiful, first of all. And what's cool, and I think maybe some people don't realize, is that although those are man-made, nature is what makes those incredible fractal-like patterns in them. That's nature. That's not man-made. They just do that on their own. So that's what's super cool about those. And they're really good for grounding, for structure, for helping kind of clear your mind, feel more organized, more put together. It helps with kind of clearing internal chatter that's distracting. It gives you a lot of energy. I always feel a lot of energy from these. I think they're very grounding and very motivating stones to carry around. For somebody that has any kind of fatigue issues or issues with maybe staying focused, I have both of those. So this is a really good stone for that. And I will hopefully, I'm probably going to get some of those, honestly, to sell. So I'll be able to show you guys a little better of an example because this is kind of weak. But, and it also, I mean, because they're beautiful, so this does not do them justice at all. But I'll hopefully be able to show you guys a better example at another time. So what crystals are good for abundance and success? So a lot. So it depends. I mean, some of the more classic ones, right, would be pyrite, citrine, even these two citrines, like I was showing you, the baked amethyst and then the natural citrine. But some maybe less known ones that I really like is gold labradorite. That is a real thing. I actually think I have it here, so let me see. So you guys can see how nuts I am. This is just a little platter of stones that I keep under my coffee table. But I think I have it in here. Yeah, here we go. So this is gold labradorite. And you can't really see. There is flash in it, just like regular labradorite. But you can't really see, because this is a raw piece, so the flash is a little bit harder to catch with the light there. You can't really see it. But these are great because what I like about that stone is that it has more of that kind of psychically activating centers like regular labradorite, but it also helps with the will and creativity and confidence. So this is a really good crystal for somebody that's more intuitive like you, Robin, because it's going to kind of activate those centers that are already very active for you, but then kind of tie in the motivation piece and the area of abundance and success. So I really recommend that. Ooh, and another one that I love is golden apatite, which is this right here. And I'm obsessed with this crystal. This I found was actually one of the best stones I've ever used when it came to helping with assertiveness and feeling confident, speaking your mind, being able to really kind of hone in on manifestation, confidence, clarity of mental thought. But I love these. I love these. Yeah, I like it too, Robin. It's one of my favorites. And then, let's see, another one for abundance and success. So again, which I've shared this before, is like another kind of code to use for yourself. When you're looking for abundance and success, that kind of, so it's really any crystal that's going to be in the yellowish category for the most part, right? But that's definitely a good rule of thumb to use when you're looking for certain things. Just look up the properties of certain chakra systems, and then if that's like, okay, I want to be able to speak my mind more, I want to be more open with my words, and then we look at crystals that match the color of the throat chakra, right? So same with, again, like Yellowstone. So this is actually yellow fluorite. And it's actually like vintage. I found it at like an antique shop when I was like 10 or something. So again, it's not the prettiest, but it's also really great because fluorite is known already for helping with mental centers here, clarity, and getting things done and being very organized. So the yellow aspect to this actually kind of amplifies that even more and helps it more become a manifestation crystal. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, and then of course sunstone. Can't forget sunstone, which is just this. But actually, one thing that I actually like more than regular sunstone is this. I'll show you. So this is, it's actually carved into a Shiva lingam, but it's actually iolite sunstone, and I love it. So iolite is a purple crystal, and if you can kind of see, there's little pieces of sunstone in there. Now what's so great about this is that iolite is more of a psychically activating crystal and really helps with creativity and just imagining different things if you're feeling a little stunted creatively. And sunstone will supercharge that. So again, like I was talking about, I think that's why, for me, I think also just being a creative and intuitive person to begin with, but I really like it when there's a combination between psychically activating stones and solar plexus activating stones, and when there's a beautiful blend between the two. I find those to be probably the most gratifying to work with when it comes to abundance and success, because they kind of supercharge that energy to another degree. So I do recommend that as well. And I will, I'll write a list for you guys of what I talked about in the comments. Another one would be Bumblebee Jasper, which is so pretty too. But do know that I believe there's aspects of this that are kind of toxic. So just don't like put your hands in your mouth after touching it. Like wash your hands. And I think that's all that's coming to mind at the moment. I mean, orange calcite is another one that's really good. Yellow calcite is really good. So let me just see what your comments here. Do you read crystals in your sessions? So yeah, I have done that before. So scrying, I believe, is what you're talking about. So where you're kind of looking into a stone. And here's the other thing. I think a big misconception for some people is that we only look at, clear crystal balls. And I mean, you can do that. That's fine. But you can scry with any type of crystal at all. And actually, I kind of like it more when the crystal has more patterns to it or more fractures on it or something. Like, for example, let's see here. Well, even this, for example, right? This is clear quartz, but it has a lot of fractures in it. I actually believe it's like rainbow quartz. So that's often called that because it has a lot of fractures that create a lot of rainbows. So this would be a good one for scrying because there's just a lot in there that you can observe. And really, it just depends. Like if you have an intention going into it when you're reading a crystal, you're looking for forms or shapes or things that are standing out to you based on what you're trying to tap into for your sitter or a question that they have. So I do like doing that. Patty, you want some golden labradorite? Okay, I'm going to try to get some for you guys. See, isn't this great? I can do this now for you. It's so exciting. Oh, I'm glad that you're working with the yellow one I sent you. Can Tiger's Eye help with money? Yeah, sure. Tiger's Eye is good for all of that. And I have that right here. And that's a very readily available. Again, one thing that I tend to like more is Tiger Iron, which is this. Now, what I like about Tiger Iron is that it is a mixture of Tiger's Eye, hematite, and red jasper. So it has this really nice blend of all grounding root chakra activating stones. So I just prefer that because I'm somebody that needs a lot of grounding, but they're both good. And then let's see here. You're welcome. You want me to scry for you? I could do that. Maybe I'll do another video where I just do crystal reading for people. I think that's a good idea. And I think that's pretty much all I have here today. It's a little bit shorter than usual, but I just wanted to go over some of that stuff because, again, I think not a lot of people know about the man-made crystals and kind of the options there are out there and really how they can actually be great tools to add to your mineral collection. And they're certainly not something to be overlooked at all. So let me just put this back. This weighs about 200 pounds. Yeah, but I am definitely going to be getting a lot of stones for you guys. So I will keep all of those in mind that you commented about. I'm so glad that you joined me. And I believe next week I'll be doing the other video, and I'm not entirely sure which one it's going to be yet, but I'll let you guys know, okay? And I'll tag you when I post about it. So thanks everybody for joining me, and I hope you have a beautiful day. And like I said, I'll let you know as I have crystals coming in to sell, so super exciting. So yay. And feel free to comment, later on in the video or whatever, if there's other questions that come up for you, and I can always try to cover them later or in, the next video next week. And continue to just comment and let me know if there's other subjects that you want me to dive into for a specific live as well, because I'm happy to do that. That's really why I wanted to do this series, is really to just help you and to kind of focus in on things that maybe you feel like you don't have enough knowledge on. Oh, stones for addictions. Okay, yeah, absolutely, Pamela. So let me get my 500-pound tray out again. So the first recommendation that will often be given for addiction is amethyst. Now, that's fine. I love amethyst. Amethyst is great. But I tend to be more drawn to other stones that people don't know a lot about. But the thing about amethyst is that it was known in like ancient times to be known as something that prevented people from drinking too much or stopped people from being alcoholics. So that's been a part of like associated with it for centuries, for a very long time. And it's really good for that. I think part of it is because it also opens us up to a higher power or to a spiritual energy that's supporting us. I think that's a big reason why it can help. And it's also very soothing energy about it, but especially just supportive spiritual energy from the amethyst. Now, when it comes to other crystals for addiction, I'm trying to see what's in front of me here because I don't know if all of it's in front of me. Let's see. So one would be cinnabar. Now, I think I have that right here. No, that's not it. No. Hang on, guys. Yeah, here we go. So cinnabar, right here, is a really good stone for addiction. It's been known for a long time. This crystal has been used forever. This also, though, is one of those stones that I believe has some toxicity to it. So just to be mindful of that as well. But cinnabar is very good for grounding, for kind of helping with anxieties that may cause addiction, helping kind of soothe that down. But again, really any crystal that's good for grounding is going to be helpful for addictions, because a lot of it is about kind of taking this upper energy, if it's too active and it's swirling around and it's making us feel overwhelmed and making us want to run for an addiction or go to an instant release of some kind, right? That's often a big part of addiction. So really crystals that are going to help soothe anxiety are very helpful for that. So even like one right in front of me is like amazonite, which is very soothing and very helpful for anxiety like that. Another one would be lepidolite, which has lithium in it. So any lithium-containing crystals, I really recommend for addiction. Because again, they just help with that outside anxiety and that feeling of overwhelm that tends to make us want to reach for something to help us. Same with lithium quartz, I would really recommend for that. Just a very helpful crystal for that. And then smoky quartz as well. Again, very grounding, very soothing. So that's like this guy right here. Another one which I've shared in another video is dolomite. Dolomite is one of my favorite crystals for anxiety. And again, that also ends up making it a really good stone for helping with addiction. But yeah, actually, I could make that a whole nother series or another video for sure, Pamela. So, because I don't have all of those in front of me, but yeah, I can definitely make that maybe a short video for you because that's definitely something I'm passionate about talking about, as you guys know. So yeah, I could definitely dive into that more in another video. So I hope that helps. All right, you guys. So I think that's it for me today, but I will be back next week. So I will let you guys know and have a wonderful week. Bye.